Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Vamsi Reddy. Today in this video we are going to discuss about functions. Previously I have explained about different types of data types and conditional statements and how to use the data types with conditional statements, if else conditions, loops, conditions, everything I have explained in previous my 3 videos. Please make sure watch that, and this is a continuous series of this playlist. You can watch the videos and move into this video at a time. You can clearly understand all the concepts of Python. Okay, today we are going to explain about functions. Functions are the main important thing in Python. Not only in Python, various languages there are the different type of functions. This is basically functions are the one of the special thing in programming languages. So let's move into that. And what is the function? Functions are the most important aspects of an application. A function can be defined as an organized block of reusable code, which can be called as wherever they're required. Python allows us to divide a large program into the basic building blocks known as a function. A function contains a set of programming statements enclosed by the flower brackets. A function can be called as multiple times. We can call the function as a multiple times to provide the reusability and modality to the Python programming. In function helps to break the program into a smaller parts. It organizes the code very efficiently and avoids the repetition of the code as the programming growth. Functions make the program more organized. And a function is a block of organized reusable code that is used to perform a single related actions. Functions provide a better modulator for the application and a high degree of code reusability. Python provides us various inbuilt functions like range or print, all through that where we can create its functions, which can be called user defined function. There are mainly two types of functions in one is user defined function and another is built-in function. User defined functions are those who are defined by the users. We can easily define by users, like we can define using the keyword like def. Using the keyword def keyword we can define this user defined key functions. And built-in functions, it is predefined functions in Python by the internal interpreter only design these built-in functions. Okay, let's move and discuss what is built-in functions. Built-in in Python interpreter has a number of functions and types built into it that are always available. There are nearly 68 built-in functions in Python. These are the list where is A to Z. We have also look here in the picture where is A, B, C, D. All that 68 keywords functions, built-in functions are contained in the Python. Okay, next rules for naming the Python function identifier. So there is some of the rules we have to identify for naming the function. That rule number 1 is it can begin with either following A to Z or underscore small abc or large abc, capital abcs. And the second rule is the rest of it can be contain either the following of numeric values, underscores, and alphabets, and a reverse keywords may not be chosen as identifier. So keywords does not choose for the identifier because there are the reserved words which can't be used again and again in Python. And next from then we have no briefly aware about the function. Now how do we create the functions? So that's this explain about that creating a function. Python provides a def function. So it is a def keyword is used for the user definition. So anyone can easily created the function by using the def. So here the syntax here def my function parameters. We want to pass any parameters, you can pass there, and the function block and return expression, which type of expression. So let's understand the syntax. So here we want to clearly understand the syntax. The def keyword along with the function name is defined as a function. So here the def keyword is given, and beside of the def there is a my function is a function name. The identifier rules must be followed in function name. Yeah, absolutely we have followed. So the function name is alphabet and underscore in between that. And the function accepts the parameter agreements and they can be optional. If you want to pass the parameters, you can easily pass the parameters, then it will be optional if your choice. And the function blocks is started with a colons. So the function block is ended with a colon, and it is end with a clone and a block statement at the same time identifier, and finally we have return statement used because for any return type of expressions we use that we can use return expressions. And now we have seen that how to create the function, but how to call the creating function. So for that case, this is a creating function. Okay, here the define is defining the function only give its names. So we can define the function by giving it name, specifies the parameters that are to be included in the functions and structure that block of code. In Python, after the function is created, we can call from another function. So once we have created the function in Python, we can call it with another function. That is known as calling a function. A function must be defined before the function call, otherwise the Python interpreter gives an error. It means the function which we are calling before the function will be definitely defined in a defined. So how to call a function? By using the function name followed by the parenthesis. So simply we can call the function by using the parenthesis beside the function name. Here the example you have seen. Here I have created a function def hello world and print hello world and function calling hello world parenthesis. This is the format of calling a function. And the next one is call by the reference in a Python. So call by the references means passing the actual values as an argument in a following function. So it means by calling by the reference in a Python means we want to call the functions by passing actual values. By passing the actual values, we can call the function. All the functions are already called by the reference. All the changes made to the reference inside the function retrieved back to the original value referenced by the reference. Okay, here the example you can clearly understand that defining the function you have defined that changing the list 1 is appended 30, list 1 is appended 60. Here the print list inside the function is list inside the function and define the list. I am defining the list. Okay, list 1 equals to 10, 30, 40, 60, 10, 20, 40, 50. Calling the function change the list and print the list output. So once we have given the input list, that is 10, 20, 40, 50, 30, 60. So after calling function, we have get outside the list is 10, 20, 30, 40, 30, 60. So this is a calling references. And once we have inside calling only, that will be occur on outside also. Okay. And up to now we have seen that how to create a function, how to call the function and rules of the functions and this type of things. Now we want to move in the parentheses and arguments of the function. These are the most important and this is optional things. If you want to keep in the parentheses calling a function, we can easily identify which type of things we have doing. So what is mean by arguments in a function? Arguments are the type of information which can be passed into the functions. The arguments are specified in the parentheses. We can pass any number of arguments, but they must be separated by the comma. It means arguments means when we pass in the between the parentheses. So we have defined so many arguments, but that each and every argument will be separated by the comma. Here the example you have understand. Here the defining the function def func name and print hi name. Calling the function is Python. So hi Python. So simple code. This is an argument passing. Name is an argument. So we first pass the name is argument. And next some types of arguments. These are the few types of arguments I have listed out. And there is a lot of arguments you can check out in Google, or you can move into some of the Wikipedias. And if there is a lot of time, I will only explain this types of arguments passes in functions. Okay. They are this first argument type 1 is required and type 2 is keyword argument, type 3 default and type 4 variable length argument. These are the first types I have listed out. And first one is required argument. We can provide the argument at a time of a function called. So required argument is simply we can say the function at a time it's required. We can call that function is required argument. As far as the required arguments are concerned, these are the arguments which are required to be passed at a time of a function calling which exactly matched up their positions in the function call and the function defined. It means at a particular time in a perfect position, when we call the function, these required arguments are passed. Okay, if either the argument is not provided in the function call or a position of a call, then the event interval shows error. Right, here the example you can clearly understand. And here I am creating the def function name, and message is equals to hi name, hi plus name, return the message, and input is equals to enter the name, and print function that, and here the name is a required argument, and once I enter the name is Python, it automatically send the message as hi Python. So this is a required argument. And the next one is keyword argument. So here the keyword Python allows us to call the functions with the keyword argument. This kind of functions call will enable us to pass the argument in a random order. The name of the argument is treated as a keyword and matched in the function calling the define, and if the same match is found, the values of arguments are copied in the function name. Here the example you can check out. And here the def I create my function child3, child2, child1, and when the youngest child is child3. The function called child1 is Hari, child2 is Vamsi, child3 is Kumar. The output of the youngest child is Kumar, because I have given the pass the argument as keyword as child3, so it is a keyword required. If I pass the keyword as the child1, then the youngest child is Hari. Simply we can understand like this. Keyword is a function called with the allowing the function by calling the keyword argument. Okay, and the next one is default. Just a second, I will change this color, you can brighten. Yeah, default argument. So what is actually the default argument? Python allows initially the arguments at the function defined. So it is a default argument. If the values of any of the argument is not provided at a time of a function, then that argument can be initialized with the value given by the definition given the argument is not specified. If you forget to specify any argument in a thing, the default it will be changed. For the example you can understand. Here the diff name come age is equals to 23, and my name is dot and age is, here the name is equals to Vamsi. I am passing the I am calling the function name equals to Vamsi. My name is Vamsi and age is 23. So default here the age defaultly taken, because we are not again initializing that calling that type of names. So it is a default function. And next type is variable length argument. So Python provides us the flexibility of to offer the comma separated values which are internally treated as the tuples at the function called. So it means that by using the variable length we can pass any number of arguments, and it means we have passed by variable length with so many number by using the asterisk value. That is a example you have to clearly understand. Define the print me, and I am passing the parameter asterisk names. Print which type of print type, the type of passing argument is type of name, which type that name, and next one I am passing the printing the passing arguments, which type of arguments I have printed, and for naming the names, print names, I am passing the name John, Vamsi, and Sanjit. These are the names I am passing. If I have entered any numbers, it will be ordered. The output is the type of John, Vamsi, and Sanjit. This type of outputs we have get of a length variable length argument. It means we can add so many things by using these abstracts length in variable of argument. And anonymous. Next topic is anonymous functions. What is mean by anonymous? These functions are called anonymous functions because they are not declared in the standard manner. By using the def function, we can use it. Means there is some of the things, there is some of the things which we have defining these anonymous functions. We don't want to use any def functions. So there is some of the lambda keyword is an anonymous function. The lambda forms has take any number of arguments but return just one variable in the form of an expression that they cannot contain the comments or multi expressions. Here, an anonymous function cannot be a direct call to the print because lambda requires an expression. Lambda function has their own local namespace and cannot access a variable other than those in their parameter like list, and these are in the Google global namespace. Although it is appeared like the lambdas are the online version of a Python function, they are not equivalent to the line statement in C or C++, whose purpose is by passing the function stack's location allocation during the NOA for the performance reason. And here the example for the lambda function. So the Python code is illustrated the cubic number. Here the cubic number. So using the lambda function, def cube is equals to return x into x extraction. So cube is equals to lambda x into x extract. The cube is 9 and cube 2 is equals to 9. So simply we can using the def we can return statement like here the lambda syntax is expression and syntax. This is the thing. Lambda x is to expression. The next one is statement is return statement. The return statement can exist a function optionally passing block back an expression to the caller, and a return statement with no argument is the same as return none. It means it will call again the back of the function expression. That time is known as return statement. Here the example, define the square value num and the action the function. This function returns the square value of enter number and return number in double hashtag. So return num double hashtag 2, it means expansion. Print return value of -5, print return value of 5, 5 5s are 25, 8 5 square 25, 8 square 64. This is the things which return statement can be executed. And the recursion is the most important topic because recursion is a commonly mathematical and programming concept. It is means that the function calling itself. This has the benefits of meaning and that you can do through the data in reach of any. It means it will recursion itself. It will add itself. Like the example here, define the try recursion k, and if k is greater than 0, result is k plus try recursion k minus 1, print result. Else result equals 0, return the result, print recursion example, and try recursion 4. So 4 times it will call itself 3 1 3 6 10, and how many times we have if we pass the 7 3 9 1 3 9 10 13 17 21. This type things are output we can get. And this is another concept in the variables like scope of variables. So all the variables in a Python, all the variables in the programs may not be accessible at all the location in the program. This depends upon the where we have declared a variable. The scope of variable depends the position of a program where you can access a particular identifier. There are basically two types of scope variables. One is global variable and second one is local variable. The variable defined outside the function is known as global variable. The variable where that defined inside the function is known as scope variable. Here the example for this local variable. Define print message hello is define the print message equals to hello print. The variable is local because we have defined inside the variable function, so it is called local variable. And print the message we have get the output. And here the global message where define def calculate argument and sum is equals to 0 for argument in a args, sum is equals to sum plus arg. Print the sum is sum where the sum equals to 0 is a global variable because we have created the outside of the function. So calculate 10 20 30 and we have get the print the values. Okay, these are the things I have explained about the functions. These are the very important functions. So both overall what is mean by function and how to create the function, the types of arguments, and some of the anonymous functions. These are the functions. I hope you are all understand about this video. Please like and subscribe my YouTube channel for more updates about the data science and job interview updates and interviews. Okay friends, bye, take care.